Hey, what's going on, people? It's J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. I'm on the line right now with Preach Music. What's up, man?
Man, what's going on with you, brother? How you doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for calling in. We do appreciate it, and I'm sure the listeners will appreciate it as well. Before we get started, I know you are working on a project that's planning to release April 25th, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's the Rising?
Yeah, the Rising Trilogy is the first volume out of a set of 3 that I'm going to do.
Okay.
This is the first one.
Gotcha. And tell us about that, the project. Why did you choose that name?
I chose the Rising based on, basically we in the time I feel like, where I think for us personally as people or as a people, you know what I'm saying? Even not just people, even just the human race is at a point where, there's starting to be a change or an evolution of the people, and there's a certain energy beginning to rise up. So, I embodied that within my own project and within myself to basically say this is something that I'm beginning to do. So you know how things have double meaning.
Yeah.
That was one aspect. Another aspect was just time for me to come back. I've done some stuff prior back in the day. It's been a little minute since I dropped something, so I thought that would make sense and be sufficient title for the project.
Gotcha. And I will say, man, I'm fairly new to your music and your sound, man. But I listened to the latest video, the Heaven to Hell video, and man, I will say, dude, you have the right name, like Preach Music, dude, because like when you speak, it's almost like you're drawn in, man. Like you have that type of voice when it comes to rap.
Right.
You know what I mean? That really draws people in. Where did the name come from?
Well, the name come from, actually, the name came back in the day when I was young, from my neighborhood. I'm from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay.
Well, Lubbock, Texas originally. I was raised in Phoenix, Arizona. I moved out here about 5 years ago. So it started just a neighborhood thing, and that evolved. It was crazy. I actually been on my own since I was 12, so I ended up getting that in the streets. And then when I went back home and, really linked up with my parents and whatnot, they were like, man, where you get the name from? Because my grandfather and some of my uncles and my great-grandfather were actually preachers.
Oh.
So it ended up kind of coinciding, with my blood.
It comes out, man, in your music. Definitely comes out in your music.
Right. And then I put the music on it just recently, man, because I wanted to, kind of separate myself, give myself, something specific that'll make me stand out for the rest of being that's a common name, you know what I mean? And my intentions now was more so to do, evolve into a full artist. So, this is my first presentation.
Gotcha.
That'll hopefully, solidify who I am as an artist and what I stand for, and then I'm going to continue to grow as I go along, with some of the other things I'm doing musically.
Tell us about New Dynasty.
New Dynasty Enterprises, that's a company I established back in 2007, and I've been at it. I was dealing with some other things. I was doing some writing in the industry. I was, working with some other different artists, doing different things. And, it came a time where I wanted to go ahead and push my solo artistry. And so I figured I'd go ahead and keep it independent. And I relaunched, and that's not necessarily relaunched, but went ahead and branded my artistry with that independent label, New Dynasty Enterprises.
Gotcha. And I see you said that, you're going solo. And I saw on your site, preachmusic.com, that you were once part of a local rap group called The Survivalists. What? Number one, how did that group come to be? And number two, what point in your life or in your career rather did you realize that you wanted to go solo and kind of do your own thing?
Well, that group came together. That was something that I did back in Arizona back in the late, 90s.
Okay.
Real late, like 99, 2001. That's when it came together. And, we did some things out in Arizona, made some noise. Signed as a solo artist, actually, and there was 4 other artists on the label.
Mm-hmm.
And the CEO at that time made a decision. Also, we made a decision to go ahead and become a group. And we did that. After that, things happen, things change and whatnot. So it was kind of an organic separation. And at that point, I went ahead and stayed back on my mission. I was already we were all solo artists. We just decided to come together for the sake of for the group, and go ahead and put us all out there. So,
Gotcha.
That was basically the natural progression. Just basically shifted right back into my solo artistry after that.
Okay. Once again, this is J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. I'm on the line right now with Preach Music. He has a new project that's dropping April 25th, the Rising Trilogy, the first of the set of 3 records. I see that you've worked with ATL producers Bangladesh. Are there any more surprises that we can expect on the new project?
I got some things working. I won't say any definites just yet until they solidify. But for the most part, it's going to be promotional material. So it's going to be the traditional mixtape.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be some local producers on it, and just moving forward. I haven't solidified everything that's going to be on the project just yet, but it should be something good, man. It should be a good project. I think folks will enjoy it.
Yeah, man, definitely. Like I was saying earlier with the video, the Heaven to Hell video, it's something that caught my attention with that. Like, it's a short, video. It's pretty much like one verse, but
right.
From what I saw was the main part that caught me was sitting on the steps, holding up the sign with the lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know why that spoke to me so much, but it's just one of those things where you see. I guess I want to say, like, you feel the reaction of what's going on just by reading, you know what I mean, as opposed to seeing someone say it. You know what I mean? Sometimes when you read things, they kind of resonate a little bit better than looking at somebody else actually say it. What was the idea behind using that? And the other question, why the Tupac instrumental or, recording at the beginning of the video?
Really, it was just the creative process, man. A lot of I like to not take credit for everything because I always feel like there's higher powers at work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Because you tapping into different things, so it kind of all came organically. I recorded the song first, and then I went back to tighten up, the mixtape because I was actually slated to try to drop it a little earlier. So at that time, I was mixing everything down and then putting skits in, things of that nature to kind of, highlight the songs or highlight different ideas in the song. And that just kind of came organically. One night, smoking, sitting, going through clips. And then I found the plot clip and I thought that would fit that song. It's just basically like, he said we taking it back to the real deal. So my personal opinion is hip-hop, as we know in the state that it is in currently, is more so slated the balance of, conscious or insightful music is basically out of balance with, what the corporation or what the industry is pushing forth 100%. So when he said we taking it back to the real deal and he started talking about the sister still in the street, Brenda still got a baby, she's still in the street, I thought that would speak to people, and it spoke to me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of times we really don't have a voice, but it is starting to come back. I think the new wave of MCs are starting to come out, and with the economy and the way the world is at this time, I really think that music is starting to come back, and the subject matter is starting to come back. But I wanted to make that statement. With that being said, because I felt that at that particular time that voice wasn't there. That voice wasn't there for the have-not. And I know when I came up listening to music, you felt like somebody was speaking for you. In the golden age of hip-hop, you felt like somebody was actually saying what you was going through or saying what you was feeling. So
that's a good point, man. That
was my idea to put that there. As far as the words, it just came to me. I was like, you know what? Let me, you know what I'm saying? I would see people with the videos with the you know how they would do the videos with the postcard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that stood out to me. You know, a lot of times that would stop me and make me listen. So I was like, man, let me do that so people can actually, so I can make sure people are getting where I'm going with it and what I'm saying.
Gotcha.
So
now, is
that's
that
how I came to that.
Will that be a full record on the album, on the mixtape?
Nah, it's just a snippet.
Oh man, that's good promo, man. Because like you hear it and I'm like, okay, cool. He cut it off. He's gonna give us like another verse or something on the tape. I got you though.
Yeah,
man.
I went back and forth with that too. I'm like, man, if I do another verse, I'm like, nah, I'm finna do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
just being creative, man. And sometimes like. That's another thing when I was coming up listening to music. You know, you hear that album where they had a little, 45-second song. You really wanted some more of it, but they cut it off. And that's what made it stand out. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Taking it back to, like you said, the golden age, man, where really hip hop, people forget about. You know what I mean? Like, you hear people say, oh, it's a new wave. Yeah, I get it. But, it's almost kind of like those people not respecting their elders. Like you see some of the kids nowadays don't hold the door for an older person, basically moving the older person out the way and they don't want to listen to their advice. It's like, those are your elders, man. They seen so much stuff and paved the way for you to be able to do some of the things that you're doing now. So just to bring it back to that, man, I appreciate that just as a fan in general. You know what I mean? We need more people doing that. Definitely
right.
More people.
At least a balance, and we can go, that goes deep. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's a deep reasoning, or if you put everything in the context of why the youth is in the mental state that they're in.
Yeah.
It's basically an atmosphere created for them to deviate from the right path. There's been a complete generation distracted. I don't think people pay attention, not to get too deep, but a lot of people don't pay attention to how many brothers actually died and went to prison during Generation X. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got a whole, not even that, prior to that, when heroin hit and crack cocaine hit, and all of these different things attacked our neighborhood, attacked our family structure subtly that we don't pay attention to, and this is the result.
Yeah.
So it's like...
That's a good point, man. Definitely a good point. Hey, it's J.Good of Str8OutDaDen.com. That's STR8 OUTDADEN.com. And I'm speaking with Preach Music. Hey, before we get out of here, man, I do appreciate you calling once again. And he does have the mixtape dropping. No problem, bro. The mixtape is dropping April 25th, the Rising Trilogy. How can people contact you?
People can catch me on Twitter. It's at Preach Music. That's Preach, MUZAK. You can also catch me at Facebook. That's Facebook.com/Preach Music. Same spelling, Preach, MUZAK. You can also visit PreachMusic.com. That is not spelled the same. That's the regular spelling of music. So Preach, MUSIC.com. And those are the ways that you can get my music, keep up with what I'm doing, see the downloads. I got videos coming, music coming. I'm trying to basically keep it going nonstop.
Got you, man. And, hopefully we can get you actually into the den, man, for a Straight Out the Den podcast so we can go a little more in detail and, in the near future. But I do appreciate you calling. It's one thing that we do before we get off the line with any artist, and that's we ask for the artist to give us a couple of bars, man. Whether it's a freestyle, 8 bars, something off the mixtape, give us something.
All right, murder. All I see is murder. Little niggas lose their cool and try to ice you with the burner. 100-round jump furnace. Niggas turning up the fire when they fire out the Cadillac and blow out niggas' tires. You admire what a killer do till a nigga killing you. Pistol Drew, shooting many missiles in your vehicle. Hoping niggas see it through. They praying for a miracle and eat all with IV condition looking critical. Coroner, minister, the corner's frequent visitor. We pouring plenty liquor up. They juvenile detention us. They grooming us for prison, bruh. Niggas better listen up or won't throw. Liquor bottles, gang flags, fofos, Southside Chicago to South Central LA to Brownsville. Young niggas blood on the ground spread. All you see is frown feel, it's purples or the browns near the drowning nigga misery. No heaven ain't around here. Yeah, it's dead heaven for a G. Still dancing at the pop pass. Niggas copping please. Watch them snitching on their peoples who gon' raise our ghetto seeds. Have my niggas in the dirt, the rest of penitentiaries. It's a holocaust, burning cross, no Ku Klux. No, it's just us. Who to blame in? Do we give a fuck? Nigga probably not. Like the blunt
Hey, appreciate it, bro. It's J.Good at Str8OutDaDen.com, man. We out.